There are some important things you should know about the Filipino woman. She is treated at all times by her menfolk with the greatest respect. She is devoted to her religion and to her family. You'll find her modest and modern. She listens to the radio, goes to the movies, dances. She understands and appreciates the meaning of a liberated Philippines as well as the men in her family. Yes, you'll find her modern and modest and friendly. Don't mistake her friendliness. Don't get too playful. She's used to being treated with the same respect we give our own womenfolk back home. You'll find her working, taking care of the family, outdoor girls, sophisticated ladies. If you're lucky, you'll be invited to the homes of Filipinos. They're great family fellows. That's right, so are we. You'll get a chance to meet the folks.
And that's exactly how my dad, a Filipino-American from Hawaii, met my mom, a Filipina from Manila. Like thousands of American GIs serving in Europe and the Pacific during and after World War II, Norma and Wally got married. And she and many thousands of other foreign women became war brides. Were there regrets? Would she do it over again? That's what I asked my mom.
Would I marry a foreigner again and leave my home? If I had my life to live over again, that would be the question.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing. Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond a star, it's near beyond the moon. I know.
Somewhere in America are millions of sons and daughters whose mothers once came from beyond the sea. They came as war brides, sweethearts of Americans serving in the armed forces during World War II in more than 50 countries. From Britain alone, some 44,000 women and 28,000 infants arrived on ships known as war bride transports. The War Brides Act of 1945 and the Fiancés Act of 1946 had lifted restrictive immigration barriers for these foreign women. Just how many of them came? It's thought that more than 500,000 GI brides made that trip from beyond the sea. They came to America with dreams of a new life, a new home, and new families. They came seeking the land of the free and the home of the brave. But to most, America would be a strange land. Because my mother spoke with a foreign accent, I grew up knowing that she had come from a foreign land, the Philippines. It was here that she had met and married my dad, a Filipino-American soldier boy from Hawaii. Over the years, and piece by piece, she told us her war bride story. And little by little, we came to understand her ever-present, bottomless longing for home. Norma Vega and Wallace Castillo had met during those delirious days of liberation. Now free from 4 oppressive years of Japanese occupation, Filipinos welcomed the American liberators with glee. Dad had joined General MacArthur's occupation forces in 1945. There were traitors among the Filipinos who had collaborated with the Japanese, and Dad's job was to ferret them out. He was 25 years old at the time, and like the other soldier boys from Hawaii, he had come from the relaxed, hang-loose style of the island's plantation life. Manila, though devastated, offered American sailors and soldiers music, dining, and dancing at the Temptation Bar and Restaurant.
My sister sings there, Nina, in a nightclub. And I pick up Nina every night with my boyfriend, my Philippine Army boyfriend. So we would go there and sit down and dance and have a little drink. And Nina was telling me, oh, this guy from Hawaii want to meet you. I said, who's that? He said, oh, this fellow Wally, he comes up here every night with all his Hawaiian boys, and they're sitting up there in that corner. They're all wearing brown uniform, So the flower girl came over, and the sampaguita, or the pikakile that they make and sell in the Philippines. Oh, this is for you from the gentleman in the uniform, the kapitan, And I said, oh, who's that? Yeah. And so my boyfriend, who is also a captain in the army, Philippine Army, he says, oh, what's going on, I said, oh, I don't even know him, He's a friend of my sister. So he came over, a Hawaiian boy style, rugged and style. Hey, man, let's dance, And I look at my boyfriend and say, go ahead, dance with him. That's about all. So anyway, then he started taking my sister home. He offered to take my sister home. So then he started coming with my sister after she works, and that's a trick just to be able to meet me and talk story. And because my house is like we're open to any people that would come and join the family. We have game, dominoes like that, or play cards and singing. We have all that kind. So he kind of like coming back, bring his buddies, over. And then my boyfriend got real jealous. He didn't like the idea that he's coming to the house. So we parted. He didn't want to come back. He'd think I was falling in love with this Hawaiian boy because we're entertaining them. Dad, he's a officer. He's not supposed to mingle with servicemen, but out of the camp, all his group is all enlisted men. They're from the 2nd Regiment, Filipino Regiment. Well, some of them born in mainland, and some of them from Hawaii. Our first date was he took me to a movie with Ingrid Bergman, and most of our relationship is at home. We play cards with the family like that. Very interesting, very, very gentleman-like, not rugged. He's very, very good. He's very kind, nice guy. When he had his orders to go home to Hawaii, he asked me in front of my mother, if I come back from Hawaii, will you say yes? I propose to you. I said, when you come back, we'll see when you come back. I'm not going to say yes now. And, you're going on a faraway land. So he said, yeah, I'll come back. So he told my mom he intends to come back, and he would like to, ask for my hand. Right there, he wants my mom to say yes or no. My mother asked me, well, are you in love with Wally? I said, I think so. I think so. You don't sound too sure. So, but he's going away, I don't know if he's coming back. And so Wally says, I'll come back. Like MacArthur says, I shall return. With the advice of my sisters and, a relative, that I'm much, much better off considering the Philippines is all, ruined and there's no future. You're not going to have any future like this in the Philippines. This is your break. This is your chance. You know, not everybody get the same chance like you. You're one of the fortunate. After his 90 days leave from the military to visit his folks in Hawaii, then he came back to tell my mother, I have returned. I want to marry your daughter. When I came to a decision that I'm gonna marry this guy, so I made it the point that, you know, I've fallen in love with him. So I remembered, you know, Dad had to fill up some paper, military paper, to submit that he's marrying a Filipina girl and he will take this girl abroad. We all have to go to class together. We all have to attend. We have to learn the American way of life, you see. So we attended that class, I remember, for 3 weeks, you know, briefing how to act in America, what to expect. We have to learn how to beautify ourselves, put on makeup, dresses, you know, presentable to our in-laws. So when you go to breakfast, you beauty up yourself. You don't go there with your hair messy and your nightgown, robe and everything. You have to be presentable. Then when it comes to lunchtime, you do the same. And it's a background of being married to an American, because majority of the girls are married to American. There was only 5 of us that are married to Filipinos. He wanted to be married in a military style wedding. I said, no, I want church wedding. That's tradition for us. And he's not even a church goer. He doesn't like church. And he said, oh, I've never been in a confession before. I said, well, you still want to marry me? Then so you're going to have to go to the confession. So we did. And I went in the confessionary booth and I came out. Then I said, well, you're next. So he went in. When he came out, oh, he says, oh, is this how, you know, you do things around here? I says, what do you mean? Oh, the priest, he asked me all kind of things. Like what? Oh, have you had sex with another woman before? You know, all that kind of thing. If you're committed, and how long have you been going to church? When was your last confession? And he said he's not a churchgoer. He never did believe in God, you know. He never know how to believe in. He was brought up not going to church, you know. He said he's even afraid of the statue, you know, the church statues. And he said, I'm doing this because I'm marrying you. I said, well, if you still want to marry me, then we'll do it. If not, we can just break it right here, you know. And he says, okay, I'm going to go through. He had his military driver pick me up at home. But then my ninang, you know, which is my sponsor of the wedding, a good friend of my mother, she needed a ride. So we had to pick her up. We would delay about, maybe about 20, maybe 30 minutes. We were not late for the wedding schedule. We were on time, but he's waiting there. I thought he had that feeling of being abandoned, or I took off from him because I didn't get there as scheduled. He was kind of mad about that. He didn't like the idea that I went to pick her up. When somebody's angry at me, you know, I get upset too, you know. So I guess I was a little upset. I just had that feeling that, you know, it's too late for me to back down. I didn't expect that he would have such a temper, you know. I thought he would understand. So that made me feel a little uncomfortable. At that moment, I can't smile, you know, and to be, you know, somebody else. I cannot fake my attitude, my feelings. Cannot fake it, you know. After the wedding, we ended up back at home, and he noticed that I wasn't, you know, myself. I wasn't happy about it. Yeah, we took the picture, and That's my picture. The way I look at it is just like, okay, I'm here. I'm stuck. I can't get it out already. I regretted that I didn't wait.
Dad returned to Hawaii to complete his tour of duty and put in the papers needed to bring his war bride home. As Mom waited for her day to leave for Hawaii, roots of doubt began to take hold.
I thought I was gonna just not go anymore and like I to hell with him. I love my family too much to leave behind, to go away. But because I'm committed to my marriage, I've committed myself to marry, so I have to be with him. This is what my mother says, well, you went to the altar to say I do, so you go all the way. You can't be here and not be with him. She think I'll be better off where I'm going. She's happy about my marriage, and I think she knows the reason why. It might be, it will be good for myself and whatever family I'm going to be having. That America will be a better place for me. My family all took me to the pier, and that was the hardest thing to do, is to get up on that plank, to get up on a boat. I cried all through the trip to United States, and I've been doing nothing but feeling sad, standing by the boat deck and looking how the Philippine Island disappearing from view, until there's nothing. And it was hard. It was hard for me. It took us 27 days on board ship, 12 ladies in one cabin. They were so happy to leave home. They're going to America. Oh, yeah. Not everybody have a chance to go to America, so, it's a big dream. We read about America, we hear about America, borrowing Life magazine from neighbors. Oh, this is America. Oh, you're going to America. Oh, my God, Beautiful place, tall buildings, The movies, you're gonna see all the movie actors and the movie actresses, It's all Hollywood stuff. And I thought, for me, hey, I get one chance out of a million, Filipino. I was lucky. I consider myself lucky. They announced that in about 6 hours we'll be approaching the land of America. So we all got ready and dressed and put all our things together, prepared them, zip up all our baggages and everything, dressed up, and we stayed on the deck the whole time until we could see the vision of the land. Slowly by slowly, we're coming in until our boat struck the bend. San Francisco, here I come, and we were all clapping, and it was chicken skin passing through. They said this is the longest bridge in the world, Golden Gate. And there was a lot of screaming and whistling, and oh gosh, that's when you really felt more lonely, that you're really distant already. You feel that you're really gone. You're gone. The Philippines is out, no more, and you're into another land. And the boat docked at Fort Mason, I remember. And Tikani was there to meet me at the plank down below. I didn't know her. She had my name. She was holding my name, so I approached her. And I told her that, I am Norma Castilla, Norma. So, yeah, I'm the sister, I'm Connie. I came to pick you up and we'll take you home with me. I stayed with Auntie Connie for a week. Then we had to report back to Fort Mason to another boat that will take us to Hawaii. And we all stayed in one cabin, all the Filipino girls. They are married to Filipino soldiers from Hawaii. They were happy because, they know the relatives of the boys. They know them pretty well. I'm the stranger one. I don't know. I've never met any in-law. I've never connected with them. There was no means of letter, no means of communication, no telephone. So I'm not in touch with your dad's family. We were treated good because the kitchen crew were all Filipinos, okay? And they knock on the door and says, "Oh, we heard you're from the Philippines. We're from San Francisco. How is the Philippines?" They were curious about the Philippines and the war. They told us, "Don't go to the dining room, and we'll bring you Filipino food." So around 6 o'clock, they would knock on the door. They would bring food, pinakbit and fried fish, stuff like that. When I arrived in Honolulu, it was in the pier, at the Pier 40. Yeah, that's where I met Grandma with Daddy. And then she gave me a leg, kissed me. She doesn't say much. She just asked me how was my trip, and welcome to Hawaii. He took me to Petty Street, where the home where he's staying. When we came home, everybody was having a party already, and I said, "Oh no, there's a party, Yeah." He says, so he showed me the room, and I came out and meet everybody, and all that. But I couldn't join them because I was too tired, and plus I'm so out of place. God, how do you like that? Coming back to meet your husband, and here I came home with all his buddies, drinking with their girlfriends, I know I feel like I'm very unsociable, but just for the day, that very day, I expect I would be with him, that he will make that day very special. But it didn't seem like it was a special day, It was not. Then Dad says, "We're going to Kauai in 2 weeks, so you can meet Papa and the rest of the family there." So, okay, we went to Kauai after 2 weeks and met Grandpa, met Lee, Trini, I stayed in Kauai for a while. I stayed about 6 months in Kauai until I'm ready to give birth to Zenny. Then we came back to Honolulu. I was the first war bride here. I'm the only one that came to Kauai. The other lady, the 5 ladies, they were all in Oahu. I got in touch with them in the early part, when we were living in Honolulu. They were happy. They married their kind, Ilocano. They married Ilocanos. So they speak the same language. They married the same culture. I'm not in the same culture with your father. His Visayan culture and my Spanish, culture is unmatchable. It's not the same.
Mom's father was pure Spanish, born in the Philippines and raised in Manila among Spanish immigrants. Her mother was part Spanish and part Filipino, born in the southern part of the Philippines, the Bicol region.
When my mother and her sisters and brothers were at their young age, their parents was arrested by the Spaniards. And that was during the Spaniard occupation of the Philippines because they were helping the Filipino prisoners. They were put to death for treason or something like that. This is just a story that she relayed to us. The children were separated. They were all raised by different friends of the family, and the elder of my mother's sister had an agreement that at the age of 18 she would like to get all her sisters and brother back. So when that time came, they all met at the train station where everybody was delivered back to her. They were all kind of grown up already. And because she cannot afford to raise them all, she had to marry them off. My father, who happens to be a chief inspector of the Manila Railroad of the Philippines, my auntie had given a party for him to come to the house. And there, my father was introduced to my mother. She's a beautiful looking woman at the age of 16. In the middle of 17 and 18, she got married. She's not nearly 18. She got married, and she had her first child when she was 19 in the southern part of Luzon. So we're all Tagalog. Tagalog means native Filipinos in Tagalog-speaking region. We're not Ilocano, we're not Visayan, we're Tagalog. My father is a playboy. He would be away maybe 2-3 months, 6 months, and he would come home with a child. And he would tell us children that he adopted these children. Yeah, out of our 9 children, he added 6 more, 4 girls and 2 boys. He knew that she would take care of those kids, so he brought them home to her. And she raised them up to with among her children, and they all grew up together. The nicest thing about it is my mother treated them like her own. And they all adore her, you know. Us, the children, just adopted her as their own. On Saturdays, he would go to a movie, Western movie, you know, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers. He liked those Western movies, and he says, okay, there's a ticket gonna be all paid for. So after school, just go on to the movie house, and I'll see you there. My mother is a good sociable person. She loves to sing. She likes to dance. She taught me how to do the tango when I was about 12 years old. She loves music. She loves to sing. They're involved in community dramatization. She's involved in directing a drama play, and he conducts the music. He plays the piano, and my mother is always the singer. Being I'm the youngest of the girl, I'm always close to her. You know, when my father passed away, I began to, you know, be close to her, sleep next to her all the time. I just love being cuddled by her. I came to a family where they're gamblers. I came to a family where, you know, they're taking care of chickens the whole afternoon, you know, and grandma, after she does her house chores and cook rice and cook a little bit of meat, she's gone. Card game, it's been like that. You know, I couldn't cope, and I'm always crying, and, you know, he's out to the football game, basketball game. I don't know, it was just a life that I didn't expect, you know. I was so miserable that I had given birth 1 month earlier. I started writing to them, and of course, then they wrote back to me. I was not letting them know how I deeply regret leaving the Philippines. You know, I really regret that I've gotten into this marriage, because I'm married to a man who is not settled to start a marriage life. I'm married to a man where he still lingers around with his friends. One time, my father-in-law noticed that I was not happy. I was sad, and my eyes was puffy from crying. And he confronted me. He says, are you happy here? And I said, well, I'm still trying to adopt, you know, to a new family. And then he told me, I know Wally should not leave you. Wally should not be going out with his friends. Why didn't you try to stop him? And I told him that, I don't know, I'm just not ready to boss him around, or, you know, I was just a bride of 3 months, 4 months. Grandpa said, I'll talk to him. I said, no, Pa, don't talk to him. I'll be okay. No, he said, I don't like this. Because if I am in his shoes, if I married a woman, I love the woman, I want to be with the woman. You know, he noticed that he's always on the go. You know, on the night he's gone. So the next day, he confronted him in front of me. If you cannot leave your friend, and you would rather be your friend than your wife, well, I'll scoop enough money from my gambling friends. I'll borrow, if I have to borrow money, I'll send her back to her family. That's what he said. Unless you want to do something about yourself and change yourself and be a man and a husband to this woman. And Dad argued with him. Says, what are you talking about, you know? I'm just with my friend. I haven't been with my friend. Those are my longtime friends, high school friend, and you know, just a get together. What's wrong with that, you know? And he said, but no, I don't think it's right. You're married now. You're a different man. You're not single anymore. After that, he kind of lay low, kind of behave, but you know, he doesn't seem very happy about it, you know. So I really have a rough beginning. It was one of those things that, you know, you just have to keep on going. I learned how to play poker, learned how to play payut, I learned how to play blackjack, all from here. Because they all want money, gambling, you know, which I've never had anything background like that in the Philippines. And here, to be able to associate with my husband's family, I need to learn their culture, which is playing cards, you know, going to the chicken fight, bet on chicken. I don't know what kind of life I would have been in the Philippines if I had stayed there, if I had married somebody from there. Like he always tell me, you would be selling bangus. You know, because every time, you know, I sound like I regret being here. I feel bad that, you know, he would tell me that. You know how better off you are living here? If you had not married me, you would have married somebody that is plowing the rice field. You would be harvesting corn and rice, and, you know, you'd be selling in the market. It was one of those things that, you know, you just have to keep on going. You cannot look back anymore, especially when you have the children. This is your new step in life. You know, I cannot go back and take my children back there. For what, you know? When I have my children, I have not paid more attention to what he's doing, because I have my babies to attend to. I have my babies to keep me occupied. You know, the fact that they're my blood, more than he is my blood. I'm gonna take care of my kids and raise them well. I was really determined that I'm gonna make the best of it.
It got better, Mom told us, when the family started traveling with Dad to his Army assignments.
He's still in the military. He wouldn't give up his military life, which I would like for him to end his military career, because He's being sent here and there and away from the family, sometimes for 2 years. His job is all about intelligence work. And so I asked him to retire, get out of the service. He said, no, my service is my life. Military service is my life. I cannot leave it. He left for Japan, and I stayed back with the 4 children. And he had to go ahead of me, as you know, regulations. You can't travel with your family. So that distance away from each other made us feel we miss each other. And when I joined him, it truly became to be more of a husband to me. Now that we're in Japan, he's more like he has to be with his family, to attend to his family. So that's when we became closer. Of course, he got involved he's a very sports-minded person. He likes football, he likes to watch game, and he played bowling. I learned how to bowl. I had to join him in order to become a bowling widow. I had to learn how to play golf in order to not to be a golf widow. I had to join him, and that's the best I could do for myself, is to play his game, join him in whatever he do. Yeah, we had more time with each other. We have more time to be associating with his friends. They formed a Hawaiian club, and that even made it better. We both get active in the Hawaiian club. He became a president of a Hawaiian club. He became a president of the bowling club, and we get kind of involved in that, in that activities. So then I became really settled with my feelings that this is my destiny right here. I left 1946. Didn't get to visit my home until 1960. Back to see my family. I brought my 7th daughter, baby, when I got home to visit my family again. It was that long. I had a good share with my mother. I was able to see her, and then we did return. We did visit from Japan. I promised that I'll come back and that she could meet my children. So when we came back, we visited for, I think, a month. She's so happy to meet each and every one, and we were all welcomed by my family. It's nothing like your own. Nothing like your own. You feel so right, there. So relaxed, and you don't have anything to, worry about. My family is such a happy-go-lucky family, very musically inclined, minded family. They love to sing and dance, a lot of association. Entire different culture from where I came from, compared to the culture that, I moved to. When we got stationed in the Philippines, it was 1963, right after my mom passing. I didn't make it to her funeral because we were in Virginia when the news came to me. We're in the process of leaving for the Philippines. So when we arrived in the Philippines, I'm just so overjoyed, because he told me that we're going to be in the Philippines for a good, the long period of time. So everything was good. After we came from the Philippines, just by myself, I'm very lonely. So he told me, all right, he says, I'm gonna petition your sister, so you will have somebody to stay with. He got to know, Nena and everything. I think he liked Nena's way, so he petitioned her. He knew some people at the American Embassy in the Philippines, and they fixed her paper fast, and she wanted to come. She had wanted to come.
On Mom and Dad's 20th anniversary, we snuck into a photo studio in Manila and made this gift for them. All seemed well. But as Mom's destiny took a turn for the better, Dad's took a turn for the worse. A nerve and muscle disorder hit him soon after retiring from the Army. It wasn't long before the disease stole his voice and crippled his body. He spent his final years bedridden and in a long-term care unit at Wilcox, a hospital near our family home. His favorite times were visits with his grandchildren and when the new babies were brought to him. He loved touching their feet and hands and often tried to say a word or two to them. They were his final joy. Dad once reflected on the discouragements of life in the military. The most undesirable features of this lifestyle, he said, are short stays, packing and unpacking of household goods, making arrangements for transportation and new housing, new neighbors, new friends, immunization shots, and moving to temporary housing, taking the kids out of old and registering them into new schools. I think the disadvantages and the discouragements outweigh the gains, he said. I would rather have adopted the lifestyle of my parents: permanence, friends, reputation and pride in my community, a paying job, and the comforts and joy of owning my own home. We're sold on Kauai, its smogless air, its beaches and rivers, and the permanence of a home.
I love to collect. I like to raise different type of tea leaves. So this one here and this one here, all different shape. See how the pink one here? Doesn't that look like Didi? Nice and pink. Pretty, huh? This probably be, I would say this would be Tessie, right here. This would have to be Stephanie, because she is so bright, and red means bright, smart. I would be much like Zenny, tall and slim. Huh? Leslie, perky, beautiful green-brown, beautiful one. Here's Patty, very rare. This is not common. Petite but pretty, huh? That would be like Joanne, isn't it? Look at that, huh? They're just like all my daughters. You asked for me to, tell you about it, and this is the truth. You're the only one, that asked about it, so you could share with them, Oh. February 1946, the saddest day, saddest my life. I'm a victim of circumstances. There, my singing, Filipino singer.
Look, they at Kintaro's.
That he wear a hula skirt. That's a hula skirt. That is.
That's where we all get them from.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's my
Mama's
mother. My mamacita.
So what does that make her to you?
Great grandma. Oh, great.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that makes me great grandma.
one night take hold of me. Can't you see I'm no good without you?
I'm happy now. I don't regret that I'm here. I've grown old to the style, to lifestyle. I've gotten accustomed to, living in America. I thought a lot about my family. I keep pictures of them, and they do the same of me, We do communicate. They are my roots. They're my blood. And I care about, I care about them a lot. And then because of the distance that we're in, it was hard for me. It was hard for me to go through knowing I cannot get to them instantly in fast time. So if I have my life to live over, I would like to be with them, married there. And have the same family, but stay there. Same to have the same husband, but not leave them. Yeah. Same thing.
Mom has 18 grandkids and so far 21 great-grands. She continues to travel between homelands, and that longing for home, it's no longer bottomless.
Puso ko'y nangumpisal sa Birhen Dalanginan, nahang pangarap ko'y ikaw. Ikaw ang aking panaginip. Ikaw ang tibok ng dibdib. Pusong umibig, dinggin umawit, tinatagoy ang pag-ibig. Ikaw ang ligaya sa buhay. Sa piling mo'y walang kamatayan. Puso ko'y nangumpisal sa Birhen Dalanginan, lahang pangarap ko'y